Welcome back, everybody. Hope everybody had a wonderful break. Hope you got a drink. I actually have to open mine. I apologize for all of you with headphones. Okay, we're done. I'm going to unmute Discord and we're going to get back into it.
We might just need to try a different tack. That's fine.
Yeah.
It would have been, really, it would have been cool if we could have had some sort of arrangement, but it's not critical that we have that.
I guess, how else are we going to get it if we don't have that sort of arrangement?
I don't know, pay extra, find somebody who will vouch for me,
Yeah. Maybe find someone who's willing to travel with us and say that they are part of the Freedom Council.
Forge documentations.
That's what I was about to say, forged documents, yeah.
Or, do some favors for some other families. Perhaps they do it outside of the council.
True.
Boomer could try.
On that note, I have another meeting.
Yes. So you guys get outside of the council, having not failed, but definitely not.
Jordan, you don't have to sugarcoat it for us.
You failed pretty horribly with that individual. However, he is a man or Triek of his word, and will bring it to the council, although may not spin it in the light that you want. But he will, at the very least, bring it up at the next council meeting, which could happen, who knows when. So I think that project is definitely delayed, perhaps, for a little bit of time. And who knows, maybe he says something and then one of the other families contacts you and is like, hey, we're really interested in this. What can you do for us? But that's just something you'll have to wait for. And depending on how that meeting goes, which I'll roll my dice in secret at some other date.
It's okay. I'm still like $4,000 off of being able to afford the thing anyway.
Right, yeah, and now you have a ship to pay for as well out of your findings. So yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of money. Jesus, you guys rolled like garbage, by the way.
Yeah.
So you have another meeting to attend, Oscar, and for this one, I assume you leave. My question to you is, when you separate yourself from the party, what do you tell them?
I think I kind of already briefed them on it.
Yeah. General things to do, what they can see.
Yeah, so I
etiquette.
think maybe once I take a couple of moments to, mentally lick my wounds after having been shot down, I think probably the next stop would be to address my plans with Chan.
Okay. Which include what?
Yeah, so Oscar would go to, well, he would speak to Gogo in particular, probably as they're milling around looking dejected outside of the the government building, and say, Gogo, I've been thinking about our new crew member.
Oh, thinking. What exactly?
He may need more help than we can currently provide him with.
Are you suggesting we have options? Because I'd be interested in hearing them.
Please do not misunderstand. I have seen you work with him, and you have done admirably with that. However, he might benefit from I don't know the best word for it, but a stay on or within one of the programs we have on Raimondi for betterment of individuals like Chan.
Instinctually, Margot gets defensive, but is interested in hearing more. So she says, what exactly do these, schools entail exactly?
And he like perks up at the word school, and he's like, yes, school. It's he can seek sponsorship on Raimondi. There are services he would be perhaps not with others exactly like him, but other humans seeking education or to learn trades on our planet. The people of Raimondi are committed to human advancement. We have services set up to help those that are seeking to improve themselves.
I think she looks at you and then looks over her shoulder at Chan, who I assume is immediately behind her, like he always is.
Mm-hmm.
And then looks back at him and says, "So,
by the way, have you fed him today?"
Yeah, I would have fed him when I was stuffing my face, please.
I'm kidding. But that was
She just
funny.
Gogo just ate like a 5-course meal and let him stand in the corner.
God, I'm not
watching.
a monster. Jeez.
You monster.
Yeah.
Probably attempted at one point to use a napkin to like dab away the grease around her mouth or arms.
So yeah, how does Gogo react to the whole
No, I think
idea of sponsorship?
I think that very, recently, Gogo has come to the realization that there is only so much that she can do here. Without some serious assistance, it's just beyond her knowledge. And so I think that you are giving her a very interesting avenue for her to help him that she really didn't know existed before. So I think that she would say to you, where do I go to get some more information while you're, meeting with your people?
He says there are hubs, so to speak, information centers. I can bring you, and he probably takes out his compad and checks the time, and he's like, I likely have time to bring you to one of the settlements in person.
I think Margot nods. She's clearly got a lot going through her brain at the current moment. She's just thinking things through. And then she says, yeah, thank you. Let's go do that.
Yeah, so I expect that Boomer and Fortune kind of got the gist of that. We weren't really speaking in secret about this. So Oscar would just check in and say, Boomer, Fortune, is this... Do you have any objections to taking Chan to investigate one of these places?
Not my slave, not my problem.
If you say the word slave, Margot gives you the dirtiest look on the planet.
That's fine. But after you saying that they're people dedicated to bettering themselves, I would probably ask if there were any people who are good at working with tech level 3 stuff here.
Can
say maybe
Can you be more
pistol?
Specific?
Maybe a revolver? Because I want to add or make improvements to my revolver.
So
Because apparently
he
I can't
says,
shoot anything, so.
he says, Fortune, are you asking about a weaponsmith or avenues for personal improvement?
A weaponsmith.
I believe that will be easier to come by. Yes.
Well, on this planet, probably not.
No?
Yeah.
Well, it's
Like
human
a-
technology, first of all. And I'm not sure that the Sriek people would consider that, you know,
They may
Or
not.
up to
I mean, they may
standard.
not serve him. But
right. But I don't think they would consider like a human revolver up to standard. The places that he goes to, I don't think there would be anyone that would specialize in that sort of thing.
So just
Yeah.
out of character, then, are you looking to purchase something or like have your own current weaponry upgraded?
Yeah, my
Which of those
pistol
things?
better.
Okay, so let's retcon that and say maybe Oscar softens the comment to say that exotic weaponry may be difficult to work
Yep.
with here.
That would definitely be a
Got
good
it.
way to put it.
To
Yeah,
put it
that's-
as softly as possible.
That's what I figured, but it can't hurt to ask. You never know. Maybe something will pop up somewhere.
For sure.
Totally.
But yeah, this
I've got better prospects than here, but I just figured since we're here and going to be waiting a while, I might as well check.
Cool. So are you going to escort Gogo yourself over to one of these settlements, or are you going to direct her
Yeah,
in that
totally.
direction? Okay, yeah.
Totally. I expect that I have time, and I'm probably.
Again, it's kind of at your discretion.
I could. Yeah. I think I could use a walk to clear my head after that. So he would probably go with them to. Also, because I mean, he would be curious himself to see like what these things were. You know, the state of this particular one and what they've all been like putting their efforts toward and so forth.
So, yeah, when you get to, when I think you get to, like maybe like a residential settlement, and it's very clearly like designated for human, like for humans, and there are quite a few Sriek and humans kind of like meandering about, and it's probably inside one of the smaller trees, like along the inside of it somewhere. And as you're approaching, there is like a large like welcome house, right? Like a large like cut kind of maybe deep into the wood, and it's probably got a very like inviting looking sign that says, you know, please stop here before enjoying our community if it's your first time, and that'd be like the welcome center of the community that you're about to enter. And so you go there, and you can see that they have like a bunch of like, I'm gonna say this, but this is not what I intend to like give you the demeanor of, but like retirement homes or retirement like communities. They have these welcome centers that have like a bunch of pamphlets of all the like activities that go on, and it's all kind of business like a little bit. And, you know, it's got the pictures of, like, you know, people playing, you know, whatever type of sports exist on Raimondi. And yeah, it generally has a nice atmosphere. You enter into the building, and there's probably a human, like, at the desk, and she's like, greetings. How are we all doing today? How can I be of assistance?
Does Gogo speak up? Or am I leading this particular
if you're
adventure?
here, I would defer to you. So I would. It's your
Sure.
homeworld.
No,
You're the one who
no,
told me about the place. So
Yeah, so I think he would probably say, you know, I am here visiting the facilities with a member of my crew and her charge. This woman here would like to see for herself the sort of amenities and opportunities available to her companion.
Yeah, she probably says, oh, that will be no problem at all. We can arrange a tour right away.
Excellent.
And she's like, she looks at you, Gogo, and she says, have either of you ever been to Raimondi before?
Margot says no, and then kind of looks at Chan. to see if he responds?
Probably not.
I mean, not unless you tell him to.
Then I would look back and just say, no, this is our first time.
She goes, oh, well, wonderful. You're getting to experience for the first time. I wish I could do that. Granted, everything is pretty wonderful here, let me tell you. Way better than where I came from, that's for sure. Here, follow me. I'll get you connected with the tour guide right away. And she kind of walks to the edge of the counter and like comes out from behind it and beckons you to follow her. And she flips out her compad and she's typing on it. And she brings you to like some double glass doors that go into the back, and you can see that there's like this beautiful garden out back with all these like exotic plants, and there are people milling about, both Shriek and human, kind of milling about there. And she says, Augusto will be here momentarily. He'll be guiding you on your tour. I hope you enjoy it. We could always use new members. And she just gives you like a polite smile and a little bit of a bow, and she enters back inside. And then if you all just kind of wait there, a few minutes later, Augusto, who's this tall, kind of Greek-looking individual, he comes up and he says, "Greetings, madame. May I have the pleasure of your name?"
Margot.
Margot, and the rest of you? And he like looks at all of you, and I assume you all give your names.
Is this another Shriek or a human?
It's a human.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a human.
He says, you may call me Oscar.
Very well, Oscar.
I probably say, I'll be sitting out here. You guys go have fun.
And I think that he says, actually, backtrack just a second. He looks at you, Oscar, and he says, I'm sorry, what, pray tell, is the cast name so that I may address you properly?
Drux.
And you see, like, he's, like, waiting for, like, you to give him, like, more, because...
He says, I am Uskrent Drux Reteg. And he, like, turns slightly so he can see the hilt of the sword on his back.
Yeah. He goes...
And, if it wasn't clear enough, what the...
he bows and he says, very well, esteemed member of the Reteg family. It is a pleasure. Here, let me show you around. For those of you that will not be joining us on the tour, refreshments can be found just at the bar over there.
Does Fortune perk up at the word bar?
I say, I do enjoy the sound of a bar. And I walk off.
Yeah, and he probably says, oh, and feel free to try some of the locals, the local drinks. They're completely free, on the house.
God, are you trying to kill Fortune?
Gigantic smile as I walk over to the bar. And I'm like, free local specials. That's what I'm talking about.
Maybe Fortune wants to join up.
yeah. You take Chan, I'll give him the rifle.
He's suddenly had a change of heart over this facility.
So then he begins to take you on a tour, and it's kind of your generalized, I think you all probably load up into a small, like, grav car, and he begins to, like, bring you around the facility, around the settlement. And the buildings are clearly built for humans, like, specifically for humans. The Shriek are generally a bit taller, a bit lankier, and generally their buildings developed for them are probably a little bit taller. The ceilings are probably a little bit higher. But there might be like some narrower corridors in some of the rooms and stuff, but here for sure there are definitely like human size, standard 10-foot tall ceilings, and the houses all look great. Like you're riding down the street, everything's clean. It looks like the HOA in this place does a bang up job of keeping everybody in line, and generally it gives you that kind of nice peaceful atmosphere. And it just feels like a great place. And begins going through some of the amenities, which include, affordable housing, job opportunities. It gives you, you get full rights to like medical services and all kinds of insurance services that exist on Raimondi. Just as if you were a full Shriek citizen, and it goes through like this whole process. He's being very like business-like, right? Like very, very, talking up the place as if as if a salesman would. But that's kind of his job, so it's kind of to be expected that he's doing that, right? Like that's his job is to sell you on living here, so that's what he's trying to do.
Probably the 50th time just today that he's given this spiel.
Right? Yeah, it all sounds fairly practiced. And I think even like questions that you may ask like sound fairly practiced answers as well for the ones that you do ask. But generally, it gives the feel of like a really nice gated community is the best place that I could like describe it to in the real world that would make sense. So Gogo, do you ask any questions during your short little drive through the settlement?
I think at the end, if we get back to like after the tour, I would just look at it and say, why? Why would the government make this place exist? What's in it for them?
I think he looks confused, and he's like, well, Raimondi is a haven to all humankind, those less fortunate, perhaps, or ones that are confused and need guidance. In fact, we have many psychics that live inside of the communities. They come here for the schools. You do know that Raimondi has the best psychic academies in the sector. A lot of them can get help for their MES. We also get some retirees who want to just live a peaceful life. Raimondi welcomes all.
Margot just nods. She's confused because she's not used to that type of government being so welcoming and caring for their peoples. That's not how she grew up, not where she grew up anyway.
Right.
So I guess she's just kind of taken aback by it and is suspicious of it, but they haven't given her any reason to be that way, so she's just kind of confused. And I think that she just kind of looks at Oscar for guidance, like kind of like, well, I don't know, what do you think? Because she clearly doesn't understand.
Yeah, I mean, this all seems to him, this is exactly what he expected. All of this appears on the up and up, and there's a reason why he brought you here. It wasn't to be like, haha, I gotcha. Like,
no, of course, yeah.
So he probably just asks, like, do you think that Chan would benefit from this? He is in effectively your sole custody.
I think that the guy speaks up. What did I name him? Jesus, I forgot his name already. Alberto. I think that's what I named him, right? Augusto is what I named him. Augusto probably looks and he says, if you'd like, I could arrange a tour of one of the domiciles that you would be staying in. Perhaps that would help clear it up.
Yes, that sounds wonderful.
Very well, yes. And he pulls into probably a driveway, and you can see that it's like not abandoned, but it's empty, like it's an empty home. And he says, very well, just take a few moments to grab the entrance key from the front office. I can do it here electronically. Just give me a few moments, I'll grab it. Feel free to take a look around the property itself, and I'll let you know when I get the door open.
Great, thank you.
And he gets to work like typing on his compad, and you see him like pick it up and he's talking into it. He's like, hey, yeah, I need to take a look in unit number 456 or whatever. Yeah, he's arranging the door to be opened for you guys. Do you guys just wait for him to finish?
Yeah, I think he'd probably just Oscar would be looking to the reactions of those that are with him. I don't think he'd be particularly chatty, but he'd be assessing what the general feel is about the place, because this is a living person that we intend to collectively leave here. So
I would like to get Boomer's reaction to everything ongoing.
That's right. Fortune's at the bar.
Yeah.
Fortune's.
Boomer's been the silent companion the whole time. I mean, opposed to Chan, of course.
Of course. No, Boomer's taking in everything, every detail. looking to see if there is something, from the human perspective, there's something fishy. Because generally when the government starts taking this kind of interest and care in you, they're getting something out of it. So he's going over, like, is this a little too Stepford Wives for everybody? This seems a little too manicured. This doesn't seem so structured,
Sure.
and so forth. He is very quiet, but at the same time, he would almost subconsciously be standing almost protectively close to Margot.
Sure, cool. Yeah, so I think that you have that kind of stoic observation about you, as you stand protectively close to Gogo. Chan has no feelings, so it's fine.
We're trying to fix that, goddammit.
But after a few minutes, he comes back and he's like, I'm terribly sorry about the delay. I've got the door code now. We can go ahead and enter in. If you'll just follow me. And he walks up to the door and he types in the code on the keypad and it pops open so he can open up the door. And he opens up the door and extends his arm in to welcome you into the domicile. And as you enter, it's a 2-story building. And you enter into a large kind of living area, and you can see that it's fully furnished. It's got a couch and a love seat, and it's got a hollow display equivalent of a television on the wall. And it's all kind of, it's a little bit utilitarian, a little bit not too
Basic.
clean, but yeah, it's very what's the word I'm looking for? Spartan.
Kind of looks like a dorm.
Spartan is the word
Right.
I'm looking for here.
So you have your assigned furniture.
Yeah, right. It's very Spartan in here, where none of this is really your stuff, but you could make it into your stuff, or you could get new stuff. That's totally cool too. On the walls there's this strange artwork, and the things you generally see when you go into an open house or a model home. That's kind of the feel you have here. The dining area is made out of some wood, and he begins to go on about how it's cut from the very tree itself that we're inside of, and because of the way that the wood works here, it will never tarnish, etc., etc. You guys go into the kitchen. It's very modern, very clean. It's got full amenities inside of it. And you just do a tour of the house. It's got it's got three bedrooms, and it's generally very nice. Again, kind of strange artwork on the walls and the potted plants that are all exotic, and it seems pretty high class to do this. So he leads you in, and after the tour of the house, he goes, so what do you think?
I think feeling overwhelmed, Margot would say, no, the house is wonderful. I guess I just had one other question. You had mentioned something about the medical concerns. Our friend here, and she kind of looks at him, and now she realizes she can't even look at him anymore without keeping a straight face, so she just immediately turns back. And she says, he has some special medical concerns, and tries to put it in a way that maybe he understands, as in his collar.
So you do make note of the collar being
I point to myself, obviously.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. You do the this thing here.
Yeah.
And I think he looks at it and he goes, oh well, Raimondi has some of the finest physicians in the sector. I'm sure that whatever may be ailing our friend here would certainly be able to be handled by them. And as far as insurance, the premiums are quite low. As a citizen of Raimondi, you would gain that simply by having a full-time job. As long as he's able to maintain that, then it would be no problem.
And how does one get a job here?
He probably says, well, the community offers many opportunities for those who have certain skills. I think he looks at him because you've kind of been the mouthpiece, but he looks at Chan and he goes, what skills would you consider you have, sir? And Chan kind of he's been very dutiful. He kind of like looks at you, Go-Go, before he says anything.
I like give him the like nod, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
talk,
ahead, yeah, it's
talk.
fine.
The
Please.
gritted teeth, talk to people. God damn it. And he goes, his comment is it's rough, like it's hard, right? And he's like, I can clean. And like that's all he's able to get out. And the guy says, "Oh, well, that's great. We always have need for those in the cleaning industry. In fact, it's possible you may even be able to get a job right here in the community and never have to go far. There's always things that need cleaning around here. So that seems like a valuable skill to have." And I think like he implies like he kind of catches wind that like he doesn't speak common all that well, and so like I think that he as a salesman, right, he picks up on these things, and I think that he says also we have a great many academic facilities that are within reach of this community, and perhaps they could help in bettering oneself, one might say.
Yes, that would be fantastic. As you can see, he doesn't speak common very well, and you said that you could teach him that? That's wonderful. I haven't been doing very good of a job of it.
Certainly, there are many common courses that are taught throughout not only the community, because we do have many foreigners that travel here for our amenities, but also in some of the schools for some more advanced learning, if that were a path that you wish to take.
Margot just nods. It all seems great. Yeah. I think that she would look at the salesman and say, yeah, I mean, it seems great. I think we're going to need a few minutes to think about it, though.
Oh, it's no problem. I'm going to go wait out in the car. Just let me know when you're ready. And also, you don't have to make a decision right now. You can always go back to the front desk and make your decision, but feel free to explore around some more. If you have any questions, I'll be right outside. And he just he gives you a polite bow, and he walks outside.
I think that Go-Go would pull Boomer aside, like maybe out to the patio, the back door of the house, or whatever. And I think she would look at you and just say, "You know me, Boomer. What do you think I should do?"
I think we need to find out what this is going to cost us. I mean, great if it's state-sponsored and we just leave him here, but long run, you and I know it's never that simple.
You're getting the same vibe I am, though, right? Like,
oh, yes. Yes. Just, yes. Let's not put any more into words.
She just kind of laughs half-heartedly, obviously. And she just goes, I mean, it's better than anything I could ever do for him. I think it's the right choice, but I don't think this is better than anything you could do for him. Begrudgingly, even I am starting to help out with this endeavor, but if you feel that this is the best thing for him, then we can leave him here and he can try and figure things out for himself. Margot's actually kind of taken aback by you saying that, she's been doing a good job, because she's never really been good with that sort of thing. And I think she just says, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that we can give him as good a life as any, but I don't know. And she's just clearly confused and just kind of goes quiet for a moment.
Look, Margot, we can solve this in the easiest of ways, or we can break this down as rationally as possible. But if we continue to break it down as rationally as possible, the bottom line is going to be this place might be on the up and up. This place might even give him a chance. He might have a better chance with us if we put more effort into it. Granted, his cooking skills may have to come along for Oscar to agree, but, that is sacrifices we're all going to have to make. Or we can go the more traditional route, and Boomer takes a coin out of his pocket.
Margot smiles, because I feel like this is something we've done before. And I think she She puts her hand on yours, like if you're holding the coin, and
Right.
takes it and says, "No, I'll do it." And she says, "Call it."
Heads.
She's like, "Great." So she flips the coin, and I think I should roll a 1 or 2.
Roll a 1d2. Is 1 tails, 2 is heads?
That's what I was about. What is heads?
Yeah, so 1 would be heads, 2 would be tails.
All right, 1's heads, 2's tails.
But what
Does that mean?
Does heads stay or heads leave?
So here's the thing. I don't think Gogo would ask. I think she would leave it up to Boomer to tell her
Yeah,
what
I
it
think
is.
heads is Boomer chooses, tails
Yeah,
is
exactly.
Gogo chooses.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think Gogo's with the I kind of.
You're killing the audience.
I love it, though. All right, so here we go.
All right, it's in Gogo's hands.
I think we keep him. And she looks at Boomer.
All right then. It's a great thing. I've already put the investment into Rosetta Asteroid, so let's just get to work.
Rosetta Asteroid. Holy shit.
She laughs and says, "Oh, Boomer," and then walks back in.
Did you leave Chan inside with Oscar?
Yes, awkwardly, and I really want to
Awesome.
know what it was like when that
Yeah,
happened.
Oh,
So-
no, he took him to the bar to meet up with Fortune.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, he's just standing in there, and so, I think that Oscar, he's been getting better about, like, addressing people, especially crew members, as of late,
Mm.
and so I think he looks at you and he says, and like, you don't really understand, but, he's like, excuse me. Oscar.
Yes.
You can see him, like, he's struggling a little bit to, like, get the words out. But he says,
Yeah. So Oscar says, take your time, please.
are you and and then, like, he can't get that last word out, and he says it in his own language, but you recognize the word as overseer, or what he would designate as female.
He shakes his head no, and asks, does that matter?
I think that, like, he looks, and he's, he you see him thinking, like, really hard for a moment, and he goes, yes. Overseer is in charge. Not no overseer is not.
Yeah, he says, fuck. Says, I hope that we can change your opinion on that matter.
Yeah, I think he looks, like, a little aghast, and then falls silent.
He says it in a very, so he's going totally out of his way to say that in a non-menacing way.
Yeah,
Regardless of how Chan will take it,
right.
he's going out of his way to be
Yeah, totally.
confrontational and just conversational about saying that.
No, totally. And I think, like, the problem is, minutia like that is lost upon somebody who does not really know how to communicate. All there is.
Sure.
It's kind of like all the other party members trying to listen to what a Sriek has to say, right? They're missing all of the tone and actual meaning behind the words. All they have are words. So it's very similar to that situation here. But like he's not
minutia can sum to understanding.
Exactly. But yeah, so I think that he's going to be the conversation. But
yeah,
but that's significant because like he probably hasn't ever not without a command spoken to you before.
That is probably correct.
Or like if not directly addressed by you. And there's always probably been like some confusion as to how he's supposed to address you, but now he knows that you are a subject to be served, but you are not an overseer.
Mm-hmm. Right. So. Oscar will be content if he understands that Chan is not simply there to do his bidding.
Sure.
That's if he grasps that, even if it's just not overseer, that's enough for right now.
You're definitely on a lower end of the totem pole than Gogo is.
Yep.
And so, at the bare minimum, anything that you were to like tell him to do that Gogo would not approve of or like would disapprove of according to like Chan's understanding of the situation, he would not do.
Sure. And I think probably by this point Oscar has like gotten him an orange juice or something. Like just something to drink. Handed it to him.
Well, there's water bottles, right? There's water bottles at every open house that you've ever been to in your entire life. And they're warm because they're not in the fridge because the electricity isn't turned on. So they're just sitting like on the kitchen island or whatever.
Oh no, they would be at the bar with Fortune by this point. So like
oh, I mean, yeah, okay. So if you guys walked back, sure.
Yeah, I think it was sort of conspicuous that it was clear that Margot wanted to have a private conversation, so I think even Oscar would have taken the opportunity to let them do that.
Okay, cool. So, Gogo and Boomer, you are driven back. Alfredo, where the fuck I named him because I can't remember it. Alberto? Augusto. I knew it was something. Augusto drives you back and he says, oh yeah, your friends told me they were going to go meet up with the other member of your party. I'll take you there right now. And he takes you over there and, he says, well, I hope you enjoyed the tour and I hope to see a lot more of you guys in the near future.
Parker gives the thanks but no thanks.
Sure, yeah. And he says, what a pity. Think about it, though. And, like, as he turns away, you see the woman from the front desk that comes running out. And she's like, oh, Augusto, we have another tour here. He's like, great, I'm ready. I just finished with this one. And then he goes and gives the full speech to whoever the oncoming people are. He's pretty happy with his job, to be honest.
Yeah. So, do they regroup?
Yeah, I assume that you go and meet Fortune, who's probably pretty in the wind at this point.
Yeah, that's something I was about to do. Hold on.
When are you gonna roll a physical effects save for me?
Yes, I am.
You're drunk. You're not drunk.
Okay.
You are probably like tipsy or buzzed, but you have full functionality of all of your faculties.
Like I'm feeling it, so I'm maybe a little more chatty than normal. So you guys probably walk in and I'm like, "Hey, my crew, this place is awesome."
He's double fisting like space mojitos or something.
Right. I thought he was going to roll like
drink that's 1d20,
1d20 for how many different varieties of drink are in front of him.
Well, one is a Ramondi space mojito, and the other one in his hand is like, I don't know, like an apple teeny upside down is what they call it, and literally the glass is upside down and it has like artificial gravity in it that keeps it. You gotta like tip your head over and like scoop some of it in your mouth or something crazy like that.
It's like a martini reverse keg stand.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, you just put your mouth underneath it and then you hit the button to turn off the gravity and it just dumps into your mouth. That's how it works. To be fair, you guys deserve to end up in an oven.
Wait, what? Maybe I need to get come up on stage.
Yeah.
Long story short, I ended up in an oven after drinking too much.
Sweet deal. I blew some holes in the hull of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, we're good.
Cool.
Always with risk.
Go-Go, do you advise the crew of your decision, or do you just say, all right, time to go?
I think in true Go-Go fashion, she would just say, all right, yep, good, thanks for letting me know, but time to go. We're done here.
Okay, hold on. Let me get a couple for the road.
Hardest
Head back
I
over to the
will
bar.
ever.
Yeah. The bartender pours you another one.
Yeah.
And you move along your way.
Yeah.
So as you guys exit, Oscar, it's probably about time for you to go to your meeting.
Yeah.
So you depart and head off in that direction, but
well, hang on. I think before he leaves the crew,
okay,
I think he would, turn to Go-Go and just say, these decisions are not mutually exclusive. We can come back. And then he waves to the group and says, I need to leave. I will let you know when I will be back at the ship. And that's, he takes off in the direction of the other meeting.
Yeah, so what are the rest of you going to do while Oscar goes to his meeting?